G'day everyone and welcome back to the channel. In this episode of Investment Review, we are taking a look at LEGO Sesame Street. Let's review it. Okie dokes, a quick overview of the set. This is it here, 123 Sesame Street. Set number 21324 has 1,367 pieces. It is a part of the Ideas range of LEGO sets, and this set was released in November of 2020. Now, this is an Australian price, so this retails here in Australia for $200. In the US, it is $120, and in the UK, it is £105. So they're the price points. Now, what we usually do in these investment reviews is we go over all the different signs of if a set's going to be a good investment or not. So let's start with that, and we will start with the shelf life. So we're going to go over to Brickset, and as I touched on just before, it did come out in November of 2020, which you can see that right here. And it is scheduled to retire at the end of this year, which means by the time it retires, it would have had a runtime of just over 2 years. So pretty much 2 years, which for a LEGO Ideas set and for a set like this, that's usually about average. It's alright, it's pretty good. So because of that, it's going to get a 6 out of 10 for the shelf life, which is about average, a little bit better because it wasn't quite that 2.5, but it's just cracked the 2 years, so 6 out of 10 it does get. Now we're going to talk about the minifigures in this set. So here we can see that it does say it has 6 minifigs and 6 are unique to this set. So that means that 6 are exclusive, meaning they are only found in this set. So we're going to go over to Bricklink here, and we're going to click on the 6 minifigs, and these are them here. So Bert, Big Bird, Cookie Monster, Elmo, Ernie, and Oscar the Grouch. So we click on the item number and it will tell us the rough value. So we can see that Bert is roughly about an $8 to $9 fig. Big Bird is about an $11 fig, $12 fig. You can see them just here in the average price. Cookie Monster is about a $10 to $11 fig. Elmo is about a $9 to $10 fig. Ernie is about a $10 fig, and Oscar is about a $6 fig. So for this, that is pretty decent. So I'd say the value of the figs is probably around about 50, a little bit more than $50. So if you did pay retail for the set, which as I said here in Australia is 20, you're pretty much getting 25% money back if you were to sell the figs alone, and if you were obviously to pick it up at a discount, the figs are worth probably about a third of the set. So that is a very good sign, and the fact that they are exclusive is a very good sign as well. So the minifigs are going to be getting a 10 out of 10. So I just want to talk about the collectability of this set. Now this is obviously the first and only LEGO Sesame Street set that has been released, and it is a part of LEGO Ideas range, which is a pretty collectible theme itself. And the show Sesame Street did air in 1969, I believe, was its first time that it was released. So that's about 53 years. So pretty much if you're 53 or younger, you would have probably watched this as a kid growing up. And obviously if you are a little bit older, you would have had your kids watching this show. So pretty much everybody has heard of Sesame Street. It's not something that people go, I don't know what that is. And same with like Elmo. It's a very, very iconic character. So because it is the only LEGO Sesame Street set, and I don't personally believe they will release another one, the only thing I could see them maybe doing is doing a series like the minifigs in the blind bag, so like the Muppets, how they did with the Simpsons, how they did it with some of the Disney characters, and obviously the minifigs with the series 1, 2, 3, etc. That could be maybe the only thing I could see them extending with the Sesame Street theme as well. I don't think that will happen. So the collectability of the set, I am going to be giving a 10 out of 10 because it is very iconic and very collectible. Now let's touch on the supply of the set. Now it's not an exclusive set, although it isn't available at all retailers. It is a majority of them, but not all of them. And some that do stock this set are online only. So like the likes of, I think Kmart it is, they are only online only. You can't find it in store. So because it's that, and it is usually always in stock on the LEGO store as well. So I believe that the supply is there. So it's going to get a 6 out of 10, and it has been there for 2 years as well. If it was out for longer, it'd probably get less of a score, but it's been out for 2 years. It is available majority of places, but it's not going to get the average, just slightly above average because it's not available in every retailer. Now let's talk about the demand. So how is the demand for this set? Well, as we can see, it's not out of stock, and there is a limit of 5, which means they must have a few in the warehouse. So with that, and also it is readily available. Usually if you jump on to your, well, as I said, like I think Kmart have it, Toys R Us do have it, Target have it online, and they usually always are available. Now, another way we can have a look at these is if we go back to Bricklink and see how many have been sold, and compare it to another set similar and the similar price point, and see which one tends to be more popular. So we can see that in the last 6 months there's been 21 of these sets sold, and I just want to compare it to the set like the Winnie the Pooh. Although Winnie the Pooh is a little bit cheaper, it is the closest set similar to the Sesame Street, and we can see that there's been 17 of these sold in the last 6 months, so about the same. And another way we can look at it is sales on like eBay and Amazon. So I've just got eBay up here, and we can see that there's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's the light, not including that one. 8, 9. So there've been 9 sold in the last couple of months as well, which for eBay is pretty alright. So because of that, the demand for this set is going to get a little bit above average at a 6 out of 10. Now, what is the value on the secondary market? That's also what I like to have a look at. Well, it's not a LEGO set that is always out of stock, so it is probably going to sell around that retail to about 20% off on the secondary market, and we can see that here. We did have one sell for $194, which is just slightly below average. Then we've got $145, $145, $130 plus postage, $165, $190, $160, pretty much $130, then plus 20 postage, and $130. So on average, it's sticking around that 20% off mark, around that $160-ish. And if we go back over to Bricklink, we'll see that it is selling for about, we'll just say about $150. So 20% off would obviously be about the $160 price point, and Bricklink's usually always a little bit cheaper when it comes to sets that are still available in retail. So that is just going to get an average score on the value in the secondary market of a 5 out of 10. Now I want to touch on the affordability of the set. How affordable is it? Can we stock up on these sets? It is a $200 set, so it is a little bit expensive. So because it is $200, we're not likely going to be able to stock up on this without breaking the bank, obviously. So the affordability, I'm going to give it a little bit below average of about a 4 out of 10. If it was about 150, that's what I like to consider about an average price point compared to the highs and the lows of all the different prices of the LEGO sets. So because it is a $200 set, a 4 out of 10 it is going to get. Now let's touch on the box size and the box weight. How big is the box? How much does it weigh? Is it easy to post? Is it hard to post? Can we store a lot of them? So back to Bricklink here, and that gives us exactly that. So the weight is pretty much 1.9 kilos. So it is a little bit heavy, but obviously it's not the heaviest set out there. And the box size is 37.5 by 35 by 8.8. So it is a decent size box. So because of the box size and the weight, it is going to get a 4 out of 10. So with this, the bigger the box, the lower the rating. The smaller the box, the higher the rating. So obviously a Brickhead set will get like a 10 out of 10, and the big Millennium Falcon will get like a 1 out of 10. But it's not as big as that. It's not as small as obviously the Brickhead, so it's going to get about a 4 out of 10. So the next thing I want to touch on is just the theme itself, LEGO Ideas. So as I said, it is a very collectible theme, but how have sets performed in the past? So I've got the list here on Brick Economy, which is all the LEGO Idea sets, and you can see over to the right hand side it's got the growth. This obviously isn't 100% accurate, but we're just going to go off this because it's just an overall average, a good thing to have a look at. So you can see 146% growth, 233, 220, all these past LEGO Ideas have grown, 338, 147. So we've had a few sets that have done pretty good. And we scroll down here, and then we might come to a couple of sets which haven't done as well, like this one here, which has only had a growth of 28%, 129, 310, 523, 61, 20. That's obviously the book. Oh, that was the book too. Don't worry about those ones. Over 2,000. That's obviously an earlier one. 34, 156. We've got a 5.5, a 140, a 15. So hit and miss. So because of the theme LEGO Ideas, it has some winners, it does have some losers. I'm just going to give it a 7 out of 10 for the theme itself. So the next thing I just want to touch on is the price per piece. So on average, how much does one piece in this set cost? So all we need to do is get up the calculator, and we're going to chuck in the retail price, which is $200, and divide it by the amount of pieces in the set, which is 1,367, which brings us to a little bit more then 14 cents per piece, which is pretty decent. So if it was about 10, 11 cents per piece, I'd get a 10 out of 10. If it was about that 17, 18 cents, you get an average score. So 14.6 is going to get a 7.5 out of 10 for the price per piece. Now it's time to go into the part out value. If we were to sell each individual piece for their current value, how much would that be worth compared to the set's retail price? So over to Bricklink, which is the part out guide. I've already done it here, as you can see. So I'll just go back just to show you guys just how this is done. So Bricklink part out guide, we're going to go over to the part out value bit here, chuck in the set number, which is 21324, tick the box, tick the extra parts, get value, and that will bring us back to this screen where I just was. And it will show us that the average of last 6 months sales for all the pieces in the set is about 264, and the current's about 323. I like to kind of meet in the middle, so we just say about 285. So then I go over to the conversion, because obviously this is in US and I'm doing this on the Australian market. So I'll bring the screen back over, as I've already done this before. And we've got 285 USD to AUD is 411, so it is a little bit more than double. So because of that, it's going to get a 6 out of 10 for being just a little bit more than double. So the last thing I just want to touch on is the chance of a re-release. So what is the chances that this set will get a re-release? Because if a set does get a re-release, a remake, it can hinder the first set's performance. So take this one for example, the NASA Apollo Saturn V. Obviously, this one has already retired, but they have re-released it, and you can see that the first one has a growth of 5.5%. So the new one has just hindered this one incredibly. It is very sad for people that invested in this set. I did buy, luckily, just one. So, what is the chance that LEGO Sesame Street is going to get a re-release? I reckon there is zero chance at all. I reckon if they were to do more Sesame Street stuff, as I touched on before, it would be a minifigure run, similar to how they do the Muppets and the Disney characters and stuff like that. So, the chance of re-release, I am going to giving it 10 out of 10 because it ain't going to happen. Rightio. So the last thing I usually like to do is comparable set performance, but there isn't really anything that I found that I can compare this to, especially in the ideas range as well. That is around the piece count that is like this. So I'm just going to not put that one in this review at all. The only thing I could compare it to would be the Winnie the Pooh, but obviously that is still available at retail. So I'm just going to leave that one out for this video because I can't find anything that I like to compare it to. So with that being said, the total scores for this set were, the shelf life got a 6 out of 10, the minifigs were a 10 out of 10, the collectability was 10 out of 10, the supply was a 6 out of 10, the demand was a 6 out of 10, the value on the secondary market was a 5 out of 10, the affordability 4 out of 10, the box size was a 4 out of 10, the theme itself was a 7 out of 10, the price per piece was 7.5, the part out value was a 6, and the chance of re-release was a 10 out of 10, which brings it to an average score of about 6.8 out of 10. Now that does seem low, and after reviewing this, it does seem low, but you got to remember that a few of the things I do consider in here, the things like the box size brought it down, the affordability did bring it down. Just because I got a 6.8 doesn't mean it is a bad set to invest in. Now, my personal thoughts on this set, and will I be investing in it? Absolutely, I will be investing in this set. This set is a winner in my eyes, especially if it doesn't get extended. If it does remain at its retirement schedule towards the end of this year, for being out for about 2 years, this set will be a winner. If you can pick it up at 20% off, buy a few. I'm going to try and get to about 10 of these total. At least 10 of these I want before it does retire. So yes, I believe it's a winner. The collectability is there, the minifigs are there, the exclusiveness in there, and just the nostalgia is there as well. And everybody knows Sesame Street, so I will be picking this set up. So leave your thoughts down below. Will you be investing in this set? Will you not? Will you be investing in something else? Let me know. And if there is another LEGO set you do want me to do a review on, please let me know down below. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next review.